Gaining access will be our topic in this video. Please, if you have not subscribed, hit the red button below and subscribe to this channel. To start, to gain access into any server, we need nmap tool for scanning, and we need metasploitable device, which we will try to exploit and see how we can gain access into any server. And let's start by scanning our metasploitable device on this machine. From this point, this is my metasploitable device here, and we can learn if config to obtain the IP address of this device. And from this point, you can see the IP address from this Ethernet silo. And the IP address is 192.168.27.0. And let's go and scan this device by nmap -t, specify the speed, scan all the ports with aggressive scan, then specify the IP address 192.168.27.9, and we enter. And this scanning will take some time, so I have already done the scanning on this point. You can see from this point nmap.t-p-a-192. I have already done the scanning, and let's stop this. And to learn how to use nmap, you can just write this command nmap-help that way. And from this point, you can see this is the help menu on how to use nmap. And you can see from this point, you can see scanning technique. We have this one, this steady scan. We have all this kind of scanning you can do. IP protocol scan. We have port specification, how you can specify port and scan under. You can see from this point, and there is the description of the failure scanning. We have surface and fashion detection, how you can identify fashion surfaces. From this, there is OS detection, -O, enable OS detection, time and performance. From this help menu, you can learn how to use nmap. And let's move on. Since I have already done the scanning of this device, as you can see from this point, the next step, we will do an emulation. From this point, we have the failure port. These are the ports that are open on this metasploitable device. These are the ports that are open. This you can see. And you can see port 53/TCP, open HTTP, and from this point you can see we have also the fashion for failure surfaces learning on this machine. And you can see all these 139/TCP4. These are the services, Samba, SMB, this. And now the next step you'll do from this point is to do an emulation on the surfaces running on this machine, and we can pick one of the surfaces. Let's say this SMBD 3x, and try to see whether there is vulnerability in this surface by doing some emulation. And we can just say SMBD 3x. We come here to Google SMBD. From this point we can just let's find some exploit in this surface, and from this point we can check this link to see whether there is any exploit associated with this surface. And from this point you can see there is Semba username map script command execution. So this surface has a vulnerability username map script, and when you find the vulnerability, now we can go to metasploit meta framework, and we can go to meta framework and now try to search that vulnerability to exploit it on this device. The scanning we done on and to learn the metasploit meta framework, let's search whether in our machine there is the this metasploit framework. To learn this tool, which we will use now to exploit the vulnerability in the machine, we need to learn this command msf console, and we just enter. I am already learning this metasploit framework. You can see from this point it's already learning, and let me search, stop this, as I'm already learning metasploit framework. From this point you can see I learned the command msf console, and it's learning. And now we have found there is in this machine metasploitable, there is a vulnerability called username map script, and let's try to exploit this vulnerability. And first, let's search in metasploit framework whether there is such a vulnerability. Map script. From this point, this exploit is there in the metasploit framework. And then the next step from this point is now to exploit this vulnerability by learning this exploit with this command use. Then let's just copy paste this exploit. And let's enter. We have entered no payload configured. Default payload is cmd/unix/refers /refers netcat. And now let's learn about this vulnerability by learning info and learn something about this vulnerability. From this point, we can see description of this vulnerability, this module exploiter command execution vulnerability in a simple fashion. Yeah. So from this point, we are getting some information about this vulnerability. From this point, you can see name, username map, script, command execution, module, yeah. And the next point, after getting information about what we can do with this exploit, is now to find out the option we are provided by this with this exploit by learning options. Yeah, and from this point we can see we can set all host. These are the options we have to exploit this vulnerability, and we can just set the other host. The other host for this case, it should be the machine you want to get access to, or hack, or gain access. Yeah, gain access, and we just use this command set rhost. We set the IP address of this device we want to exploit this vulnerability on .168.27.9 and enter. Yeah, we have set that, and we can learn the options again to confirm whether the host has been set. Yeah, from this point it has been set. We already have a default payload set for us to exploit this vulnerability, and therefore since we have the host set, we have the port on which we will learn this exploit, and this, because this is the payload here is a reverse netcat. This means when we learn this exploit, this device should try to connect to our device, and that way we can bypass firewall as it is this device trying to connect to us, and we can just learn this command, learn, and enter. Let's see whether we'll be given a session on this metasploitable device. Yeah. From this point, you can see command shell session 1 opened. That means we have managed to gain access on this device, and we can learn commands such as who am I to see. Yeah, we are the root on this device, and we can learn a command such as a file system command pw. Yeah, you can see the current directory is this, and we can change this directory to home, and we create a folder to see whether truly we have gained access to this device. Let's say cd/home. Yeah, we are now home, and let's create make a folder in home directory to see whether we have gained access to this machine. Let's say make dl. Let's say the directory should be called gain access. Enter. And let's see from this device. let's cd here home on this metasploitable device. Search home. Let's learn ls to list all the folder. Yeah, from this point you can see we have gain access folder created on metasploitable device, meaning we have gained already access to this device. And let's create a file on this gain access. So let's cd gain access, then let's create a text file echo gaining access. Let's just a simple text, and we say gain.txt, and we enter. And let's come to this metasploitable device, and we cd to the gain access, the folder we have created, and see what is in the folder. Let's learn ls. Yeah, from this point you can see gain.txt, and let's cut to get the information in the gain.txt. Yeah, gaining access. From this point you can see that's how we can just exploit a vulnerability on any server and gain access into it. Thank you guys for viewing my video. Let's see each other in the next video. Thank you.